Startup.
This button?
Yeah. Good morning, everyone. We are streaming live via Facebook and also live on YouTube streaming. For YouTube, we are using a new professional microphone for better quality because it is easier to search for video on YouTube than on the Facebook. Facebook, it remains on the timeline for a few seconds, maybe 15, 20, and after that it becomes difficult to search. Once you have subscribe to YouTube channel, you can find the videos in one place and you can search for the one that you are looking for. We are coming live from Maryland. Universe, the ultimate way to learning. Everything that we see around us, whatsoever happens around us, teaches us something. But we have our own criteria of learning, that this way we can learn, not the other way. Every moment a circumstance, a situation comes, it gives us a message. It is a way to learning. Life is one, but experiences are varied. You learn and experience under different forms and situations, and this aggregate of these experiences take you to the eternal, the ultimate in flowering. Just as when you are filling water somewhere, it goes in a particular way, either drop by drop or in a stream, and it takes a little while for the cup or the whatever you are using to fill, it takes a little while to get filled. In the same way, when you put all these experiences together, it takes you to the eternal. On a day-to-day basis, we experience many things. The idea of reincarnation is accepted only in certain paths, not everywhere, but it exists. Hindus have given a very elaborate explanation of breathing techniques using the pranayam, where breath becomes very important. Does that mean the person who is following the other path not breathe. Breathing is an essential part of living. Whether you are, whatever language you speak, whatever be your religious belief, it does not matter, because breathing is a spontaneous act for living. In the same way, and when we look at it, sometimes it does happen, we are traversing through the life's roads. All of a sudden we meet someone and there comes a remembrance, as if that we have known this person before. Somewhere we have known, we get confused about it, we have no answer to it. But our belief system comes in the way. What is important, from wherever the understanding comes, your doors are open, you allow it to come into you. It's not that you will not accept the things from this one or that one. Sometimes it does happen when you go to the market, you do not want to buy the items from this particular shop or that particular shop, and we go on living our lives in that way. In Christian tradition and Islamic tradition, Judaism does not accept the concept of reincarnation. It is only accepted by religions that have been born in India. They may differ on every aspect of life, but on one point they are absolutely in total agreement, and that it is not the agreement of one day. Instead, it is of thousands of years, and that is the continuation of life, the concept of reincarnation. Just as your body undergoes maturity, it goes through various stages. The child is born, as a baby comes into existence. In the process of growth, many changes take place. These things happen. Your life is a continuation from the time it takes birth and goes through various stages until it attains maturity and you are ready to enter the death. This is the continuation. When one finishes, only then the other comes into existence. When as a baby you die, then a child is born in you. When a child dies in you, then you become youth, and so on and so forth. It does not matter whether certain religions, certain beliefs, they do not agree with the reincarnation. In Christianity, Islam, Judaism, your lifespan is very short, just between cradle to grave, maybe 70 years or 80 years. With death you are finished. But in Eastern religions, Eastern experience, with death you only change your form. You are not finished. Instead, you continue. The soul's journey continues, and this continuity is eternal. You will take many forms, many experiences, and many ways of being until you attain maturity. Just as one experience in life does not take you on an inward journey, you go through various experiences on a moment-to-moment basis. In the same way, in the life of the being, it goes through various stages. This whole universe is conceived of in the East as a teaching period. Trees are learning to be trees. Birds are learning to be birds. This whole universe is exactly a great university, an opportunity to learn one form and also to learn that behind the form what is hidden, your formless being. When the language of the computer was to be determined, it uses the binary language, two numbers 0 and 1. 0 is emptiness and 1 you can call it as full. This is the aspect of being and non-being. 1 you create and the 0 happens on its own. Sound you create, but silence happens on its own. It comes in the package with the sound. So these are the two aspects, hidden and the known. You see the form, but your formlessness, you do not see it. Thousands of times you have lived in different forms, experiencing different ways. Certainly to be a tree is totally different experience than to be a bird soaring in the sky, or to be a lion, or to be a fish in the ocean. When you are living as a baby, your experience is different, but that experience is carried over in the next stage. As a child, your experiences, your understanding is different. Thousands of times you have lived in different forms, experiencing different ways. As a child, you experience different ways. You live in a different format. To be a tree is a totally different experience than to be a bird soaring high in the sky, or being a lion roaring in the forest. But the essential life is one. You are going through the stages from cradle to grave. As a baby you are born, you become a child, you become a youth, and so on and so forth. All these stages continue. But amidst all these stages, there is only one life. Out of this experience of essential life, in the East, the concept of reincarnation came into existence. And if you go deeper into your interiority, you can move so deeply that you can start touching not only your birth, your 9 months in the womb, instead also death in the previous form. If you are awakened, you enter into death consciously. You will remember, you will be born with much greater understanding. A simple example, you are working in an office weekend is approaching. You have finished all the assignments for that week. Nothing was left incomplete. All the files were attended properly and they have been disposed of. Nothing remains on your mind during the long weekend. You are born afresh, and those memories do not linger in your mind. In the same way, when we are interacting into our lives, in our day-to-day life, we do not finish a particular relation in its totality. When problems arise, we abandon that. And whatsoever remains incomplete keeps on bothering you all the time. It keeps on coming again and again into your memory. This particularly applies to male-female relation also. And when you are interacting into a new relation, the memories, the unfulfilled memories of the past keeps on coming again and again. The best example of this comes from Mahabharata, where the 5 Pandavas, under a certain circumstance, got married to one person. Everything has a link somewhere in the past that we have not known. You have left a file incomplete. It lingers on your mind. It has a connection. So somewhere it is said Draupadi wanted to have her husband with these qualities. And she prayed that she wanted to have a husband with all these qualities, 5 qualities she mentioned. It was said it is very difficult to have an individual with all these 5 qualities. And this sometimes happens. We have a spouse, but we admire a certain quality in the other. Nothing is wrong in that. We can learn from that. She gets married. Actually, she was won by the Pandav prince Arjun. When he comes home and he tells mother, who was in her prayer, that, look mother, I have brought something. As it happens in our day-to-day life also, the mother is busy doing something. You bring something, you said, Mom, I brought the food or something. You said, go and share among all of you. What about you? You are not going to eat? No, I am fasting today. No, all of your brothers and sisters, share it among yourself. It is natural. So the Queen Mother Kunti told Arjun, go and share among yourself. Now the word of the mother is there. She did not know what Arjun had brought and he did not explain. He wanted to give a surprise, as even now we want to give a surprise. So she gets married to 5 princes. Very difficult to have 5 husbands. That is the 2 types where one man can have different wives and one woman can have different husbands. So it was inquired of her, how is she going to maintain her relation with 5 brothers? The answer she gives is a teaching for each one of us. She says, for 1 year, I will live as the wife of the first prince, the eldest one. And there will not be any relation with anyone else. After that, for the next year, I will go into an intense austerity and meditation. During that period, I will wipe out all the memories of that relationship. We enter into one relationship is finished because of certain problems. Within a few days, we go into another relation. And again the story continues of failures. All the memory, if this is a simple thing, your computer screen has a certain amount of the desktop space, readily available memory space. If it is full, your system operates slow and you cannot work. So you have to keep on cleaning your screen, cleaning the memory, and remove the unwanted files, so there remains enough space. When you have entered into one relationship, much is written on your consciousness. For some reason, you had to abandon that particular assignment or particular relation. Before cleaning your screen, you enter into another. Problems arise. So she says, I will enter into a meditative state, remove the memories of that, and then enter into marriage with the next prince for 1 year. Now this is an important meditation, it comes in. Many times when people have mentioned their problems in life, in their male-female relation, he said they want to get married again. I said, that's your choice. If you have asked me, I will ask you to do one thing. Attain fruition in that relationship. How is that possible? There is no possibility. The relationship I have abandoned, but the memories you have not. There would have been although there is a conflict now, and because of that, that association, that relation is abundant, but the memories are there, and there would have been certain moments which have been a great fulfilling, and there would have been moments of great strife. These are the two memories, the moments of extreme joy, celebration you forget, but the moments of strife keeps on coming again and again on the surface. Now what happens there? You relive those moments meditatively, reliving first those moments that has been of great moments of joy, togetherness, happiness. When you are reliving those moments meditatively, you are increasing a certain energy in you. Now it comes to the moments of strife. If you happen to be with that person, maybe some violence may erupt. Now when you are going through the meditativeness, in a meditation, there will be pain, but meditatively, consciously you are going through that pain. And when you consciously go through that pain vanishes. It does not remain with you. But if you overlook that I have no problem, then those remain as a background. Is something like this. You are not aware how many files are open on your system, either smartphone or computer, and each file that is open, that sucks up your battery power. The system, the device gets hot, and you are not even aware what is happening. Something like this happens when you have not attained fulfillment in that relationship. Meditatively, you have not undergone through that stage. Through that, it keeps on bothering you again and again, knowingly or unknowingly, and you do not know, why am I having a problem again? So I suggest that go meditatively. I can tell you how you can do it. When you are going through that moment of strife meditatively, the other is not there. Now, if it was, there was an anger arising in you, you have felt hurt in a particular situation, and the moment that comes in, if that person would have been there, you would have used your fist to give him a cuff, or used a knife to hurt him. But now you do this consciously, the person is not there. Now this is an acting. Meditation is a great act of acting, where you are enacting a particular situation, and when you are enacting knowingly, it is not going to hurt you. Instead, all those memories will vanish from your consciousness, and when it vanishes, your screen is once again clean to rewrite. All those empty files are cleaned up. So that's why when you are not aware, you carry your laptop to someone who knows about it, or your system. He says you have so many files open, and that is the cause of your system to get hot. I had mentioned something, that my iPhone gets hot, warm. So I was asked, do I keep my Bluetooth always on? I said yes. He said, no, you do not have to keep it on. You turn it off. And when you are entering your vehicle and you have to use the Bluetooth, that time it doesn't take long. You just turn on the Bluetooth. It is already paired, but you have turned off. So it is not consuming your energy, as it happens if you have the memories of the past relations. That file is open. It is consuming your energy. As you are going, your system is, the Bluetooth is on, you are trying to open the file and working on your smartphone for a few, maybe 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So additional energy is being used. Now one is already open, which has not been closed, consuming the energy, and now you have been working on something which is again using the energy. So double energy is used. The battery gets discharged faster. This is exactly like this happens in our day-to-day life. So Draupadi says, after 1 year living with one prince, I will go in a period of austerities. Now, when you carry your system to the technician, he says you have to leave your system with me. It will take 24 hours for me to clean it. Sometimes it finishes very fast, sometimes it takes 24 hours. He said, I will clean up all the unwanted files and your system will be afreshed. If there is a virus comes in, he reprograms your system, installs the same program, same operating system again. So your mind is being programmed, installed with a new software, and you go on updating it. In life, we have to go on installing a new software, updating it. So when you go meditatively into those moments of strife, in the beginning it is hard. But if you have made a decision that you want to keep your screen clean for the next journey, the moments of strife vanish. The moment the memories are vanished, you can enter into the new relation in a much better way, as if your screen has been given a new life. So when I was having problems with my system, he said I have to clean it. The files that are important, I will transfer it onto the hard drive, external hard drive. Then I will reinstall the operating system. This is the normal way we understand in the computer it happens. So your positive memories of that particular relation, which will help you to march better way in the life's road, are transferred onto by the expert. Now here you are the expert, you are doing it on your own, you are transferring. When you are meditatively going into it, those memories goes into external hard drive or the internal hard drive and remains there. And now you are shutting down your system and reinstalling the programs once again, so that your computer's life is enhanced as if it is new system. And this is what she did. She said, after 1 year living with one prince, I will enter into a period of austerities, cleaning up my desktop, cleaning up my screen and everything, and reinstall a new program. Then I will enter into life, 1 year's life with the next prince, so on and so forth. I will continue to live with 5 princes. I had heard just a clip of that. In a sentence, she mentioned that after living with one prince for 1 year, next year I will go into austerity to remove the memory. That's all I heard. Now, to explain that as a practical methodology, I have to give so much of explanation. And once you do, and remember, it is a tremendous experience to know that you have been here before. You have been into male-female relation before, because that gives a new dimension to your consciousness. If you have been here in the past, you will be here in the future as well. One relation is finished, you are entering into another. The past and future, both are in balance. The present moment is just that which bridges the two, it balances the two. And if you can dig deep into the present moment, this is the moment when you are entering in. The past is finished, the future has not yet come. So this very moment you are entering in meditatively into those memories, saving certain ones and deleting the ones that was creating the problems, that was staying in your memory like a virus. And all kind of viruses, innumerable are they in names. And if you can dig deep into the present moment, you can experience not only your past lives, and there is every possibility that if your effort is really total, you may start having the glimpses of your future possibilities as well. You can do much more. You have learned from your past experiences, and now you are entering into another relation. You have worked with this laptop for a certain period of time. Now either you change it or you refurbish it, you reinstall the system again. And that is the way. Before you enter into another relation, remove the memories of the past. Unless you do it, your story of failure will continue. I have no sympathetic way of saying this. If you have not cleaned your screen, cleaned the memories, your story of failure will continue. Gautam Buddha is reported to have said that we never begin our journey, it is eternal. You cannot reach to the point exploring within yourself where you started the journey. You have always been moving and traveling. So the beginning cannot be found when you actually begin the journey. Why do we feel the need to enter into relationship? Somewhere deep within, there comes, when we interact, there comes the sensory expressions, the organs of perception and action begin to play their role. With that, feelings arise. Body has attained a certain maturity, feelings are bound to arise. Now you have to understand these, give it a direction. So it is not that when you have, where is the beginning? You do not know why this feeling is coming into us. Somewhere it is a continuity. You have always been moving and traveling, so the beginning cannot be found. It is not there, but the end can be found. You will be surprised to think about it, that the ordinary death is not a death because consciousness moves into another form. A bird becomes a tree becomes an animal becomes a human being. You would have observed sometimes when you are angry, when you are really angry and you find it difficult to respond, you grind your teeth. This is one of the animal instincts that is somewhere deep within our consciousness. It surfaces in certain moments. When you do not have the freedom to express yourself, maybe you do certain gestures. And when you look at the gestures, these gestures have some animal instincts in it. There is a beautiful story. God created man and the entire creation. What is the origin of it? It is not important, but it gives a deep message. God has given everybody a life of 40 years. The birds, the animals, everyone was given a life of 40 years. All the animals thought that 40 years life, it is too long. What am I going to do with 40 years? But the man thought, what am I going to do in 40 years? That is too short a life. So the animals made a representation to God saying that this 40 years of life is too much. I want a shortened life. He said that cannot be shortened. A law has been promulgated. Everyone will have one life of 40 years. Yes, there is a possibility. If someone is able to take your life, how much life do you want? All of them said in one unison voice, only 20 years. So 20 years life. What can be done? I can reduce your life span from 40 years to 20 years. Only on one condition, if there is among you who is going to take 20 years. So the man became very happy out of his greed. He said, yes, I can take that. He was thinking deep within that if I get this 20 years of life from a cat, from a dog, from a monkey, it will be good enough. So I can live a longer life and experience many more things which I cannot do in 40 years. 40 years is spent in merely learning, going to the university, completing the education which normally takes 25 to 27 years of your precious life when you spend in education system. So 40 years of life man was given. Comes then the next 20 years of life of the cat. So the tendencies of the cat, living at the mercy of the others to get the food, this and that. Then comes the life of dog. You are barking. Nobody is paying attention to you. You go on saying things, children are not listening to you. Nobody listens to you. Then comes the life of monkey. You are sitting down, scratching your underarms and making faces and feel happy making faces. You have seen the older people, they are playing with the young children and they keep on making the monkeying. That's what we said, why are you monkeying? The verb from monkey came in, making the monkey faces and the sounds and things like that. Thus man continued to live up to the age of 120 years before now he wants to get a pardon. Many kind of ailment comes in. Up to 40, you are very hale and hearty. After that, the energy begins to get less and less. Kinds of ailments comes in. And then it continues until the age of 120 before you leave the world. We go through, a bird becomes a tree becomes an animal becomes a human being. But if your experience of all your past lives suddenly flashes you to the idea that you are eternal, that very moment you are disidentified with all those. Disidentified with all those that has come into you as a part of your sensory perception. That's the bodily movement. But we live in our body. We live through the sense perceptions. That is our only learning. We never a moment realize that our life is eternal, beyond time and space. Now, you will not take that, after that you will not take back another form. You will enter into formless. It is called the ultimate death, and this death is the death of a mystic. You have died, you have attained to that ultimate merger, the journey from form to formless. This is a state of nirvana or awakening. But to have a great death, you need to have a deeper understanding, a great life. Ordinary life is so lukewarm that ordinary death cannot be much more than that. It can only change the outer garb, paper bag in which you have been living, to burst forth out of all forms that you have lived, all the relationships that you have gone through, all that had happened as part of sensory perception, interaction because of organs of perception and action. This you need to understand. There are 5 organs of perception: eyes see form, nose smell, ears hear sound, then touch, and then there is a response. So there are 5 organs of perception and 5 organs of action. The experience comes because of these 2. But when you are beyond these experiences, you know that you are eternal. A tremendous awareness is born. Your intensity is total. You will pull all of yourself into a single point, and suddenly all forms disappear. And with the forms, all strife, all pain, and with pain, pleasure also disappear. Just like a breeze, invisible, you enter into the formless. This is a Buddha death, or dissolution, or nirvana. Consciously you have entered into the formless. No more relation. Then you can live into the world. You can be the part of this, as we call Pavlov's web, the life as a web. You can live into that. Continue to perform your role which you have to do. A light has come into you. Light becomes a presence. You are sharing this presence with all those who come in your presence, who are connected with you. Nothing remains an obstruction, because you are aware of the formless. Because before the word comes, Somewhere or the other there is a formless that assumes the form of words, it manifests as words. So when light manifests itself as words, it is light is being communed. It is the silence that is being communed to you. And that brings about transformation. Nothing else. You can read the scriptures. It's an arduous, longer path. But the moment you get a taste of the formless, the presence, the awakened presence, you are connected to that. Your innerness begins to pulsate with the formless of the Master. Then it becomes your heartbeat. Now you are living with your heartbeat, but that heartbeat is connected to that of the awakened one. A new journey begins. I will pause here and leave this session open for any question that may arise.